earlier today about the history of the Bolsheviks. So what I'd like to speak to Haz about is the philosophy that he has. So he said he's willing to talk about that. So we're going to add him as a speaker and let him make whatever points he'd like to. What's up, man?
So this is how we're going to do this. If you mute me once or if you kick me, you surrender your manhood and you give up. The second thing I want to say is that it's very clear you're terrified to debate me, which is why you've decided to choose.
I'm having you on here right now. So what are you talking about?
Jay Dyer, you claim that my photo was photoshopped. I spent all day on the ground.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. Do you want to talk about? Let's talk about. Let's talk.
Don't worry.
Let's talk about imperial criticism. Are you going to talk? Are you going to talk about Leninism and materialism?
Yes.
Okay.
But before I do that, we have some personal beef because we could have had a.
I don't know anything about you. I was.
Jay Dyer, we could have. I would have.
Stop saying my name and just get to the topic.
Beta Dyer. I would have been more than.
So all you have is calling. Look, dude, I was inviting you to have a discussion.
Boy, sit down, boy. Sit down, boy.
You call me listen. You call me a fucking imbecile, and all I was doing was trying to allow a debate with you.
Boy, sit down. We could have had a civil.
I'm not a boy. I want to have a civil conversation. Do you look? You immediately came on here calling me names. Do you want to have a debate or not?
Could have had a civil debate had you been a.
I'm giving you the opportunity to do that right now.
Of us.
I'm giving you the opportunity to do that right now. Are we going to debate materialism or not?
Jay,
stop saying my name. Stop saying my name.
Because you know it's very inconvenient for me.
Do you want to debate materialism and empirical criticism or not? I have the book pulled up right now. Let's go.
Yeah, but what I'm going to be very clear about before we get into the nitty-gritty of that book is that you're a fucking pussy who chose this time to debate just to inconvenience me, thinking that there was a chance that I wouldn't.
I'm absolutely not afraid of you. I think this is all ridiculous. Why are you whining about being inconvenienced when you can have the debate right now?
Because this is a stupid informal Twitter space.
I don't consider you worth a formal debate.
Okay, little bitch. Let's see. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
So this is all you have. So let's talk about materialism. Would you like to convince people of materialism? You think it's true?
I'm here to destroy you and violate you psychologically. That's what I'm here to do.
Why is materialism true?
Materialism is true because metaphysics is wrong. Metaphysics is mental rot. It's mental laziness. It doesn't put the prejudice.
So do you have an argument for why that's the case?
Yes, I was finishing my argument.
That's an assertion. That's an assertion. It's not an argument.
Okay. Well, materialism, as Marx understands it, consists in the rejection of metaphysics and idle dogmas of the mind and idols of thought and the mind, which are not proven or put to work in any kind of way practically.
Okay, what is the mind?
What is the mind? What do you mean, what is the mind?
What status does it have? Is it a thing?
The mind is what we call the faculty or the ability to produce thoughts. Mind is the unity of reason and the ideas.
Those are all metaphysical statements.
No, they're not.
Sure, you're saying that they have ontological status. It has some kind of level of existence. To say that what exists is matter is a metaphysical claim.
It's not a metaphysical claim because no one is saying, for example, that there's a given form of the mind that is not contingent on some kind of
it doesn't matter.
Reproduction.
It doesn't matter because you're granting it. You're saying that it has a status of existence. That's a metaphysical claim. That's metaphysics 101.
No.
Yes.
Earth exists. That's not a metaphysical claim.
It is a metaphysical claim. It's a status. It's granting modality to a thing and saying that it has material existence.
That is practically relevant to the people living on it, so it's not metaphysical.
Well, the fact that you call it practical doesn't mean that it's not metaphysical.
Yes, it is, because metaphysics precisely consists in making claims about reality that have no practical significance.
Like saying that all reality is material. That's a metaphysical claim.
No, that has direct practical significance because for a great period of mankind's history, the past, let's at least recorded history, we have made claims about reality and clung to those claims.
So you're just restating what reality is. That's a circular argument. Yeah, reality is materialism, and that's what reality is.
A lot of time.
That's called a circular argument. So you're at T-jump level. Reality is reality.
Why are you interrupting me? We spent a long time
because you're just restating what the question is. I want to know why that's the case.
J. Dyer, knowledge which feeds people is not metaphysical. Okay, metaphysical is like Mendelian genetics.
So wait, what is the knowledge there in that sentence?
What is the feeding in that sentence? It's the same thing.
So knowledge is identical to feeding.
Knowledge,
dude, you're a clown, man. You don't have no idea what you're talking about. Knowledge is feeding.
Knowledge is material because it's not something that's sensuously tangible. Is that your fucking argument, you retard? Did you even read Lenin's Materialism, Imperial Criticism? You really think the position of Marxism is that only empirically definite?
That was it. As you guys heard, this was nothing but total nonsense. I knew it would last about 5 or 10 minutes. For this absolute clown, he says that metaphysics is reality, and reality is metaphysics. It is matter, and it is pragmatism. Knowledge is feeding people. Feeding people is knowledge. Actually worse than T-Jump. T-Jump at least had to try to give some kind of account for justification or some kind of meaning. And in his case, it was really low tier. It was scientific consensus. We didn't even get that in this absolutely clown level, just ridiculous notion. And I want to give the opportunity for any of this clown troupe of online nonsense and astroturf ridiculousness for all the clowns that believe this worldview. You're welcome to come on next and make your arguments for how any of the gibberish that you heard in the last 5 minutes was in any way coherent or any kind of actual argument. You heard that it was all assertions. It was all pure propaganda and assertions with absolutely no justification for why we should believe that that is the case. He tried to reduce it to pragmatism, but I don't think I was ever going to get any kind of answer as to why pragmatism is true. Chapter 4 is about there is objective truth. It's not pure subjectivity, but that objective truth is just objective matter and sensation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, but why is that true? How are we supposed to know that that's true?
Well, I think you're getting it misconstrued with this kind of vulgar materialism that it's like.
No, I'm reading chapter 4 where he's arguing.
Yeah, I'm explaining what I'm saying. I'm saying, I think you take that quote and you're saying, okay, what is it out there? I can't feel it. I can't touch it. But it's like.
No, I want to know the argument for why materialism is true.
Because the subject is not the privileged site of ontology of being.
How does that prove materialism?
Because that means the world acts upon us. It means the world is real. It means the world is material.
How does it prove that?
Because you are being acted upon.
How does that answer? How does that answer something like Sellers' myth of the given?
Explain that.
Well, wait a minute. You're the philosopher here, so you don't know about the myth of the given?
I didn't say I was a philosopher. When did I say that?
No, you're the philosopher here explaining materialism to us, so surely you would be familiar with the major objections to materialism.
What is that objection? Like, lay it out. If you're the smart guy, condense it.
But I'm not the materialist. I thought you. So you don't know the major objections to your position?
Well, offer one forward. You're not giving me. You're not presenting your case. Like,
well, the myth of the given is the idea that the external data that comes in, that there's a correspondence or that there's a givenness or a pattern that exists, that the information that comes in matches up to the ideas in your head.
Yeah, but that necessarily can't be true. Like an unconscious
That's what your position.
Can still be given information, and they're not able to disclose that information. In their head.
You're not even understanding. You're not understanding the argument. You're not even understanding.
Someone who hasn't.
You're not even understanding the argument.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Okay, what am I not understanding about it?
It's an argument against materialism, because materialism operates on the assumption of the myth of the given, that the data that comes in is meaningful information.
Yeah, this is just Kantian jibber jabber. I know. Yeah, I know what that means.
It's not Kantian. It's not Kantian.
It literally is.
No, it's not. Sellers is an empiricist. He's not a Kantian.
And what do you? Kant literally used a lot of Hume when he was making.
Yeah, I'm aware. I know. I make transcendental arguments. I know. I know what Kant says.
Okay. So my point is being that, and it can be interpreted as the Kantian negation of what is being said. I understand that your mind plays tricks on you. I understand what you're saying.
Well, that's part of it, but the argument is that there's an assumed correspondence between the idea that's produced from the sensations and the meaningful content in the external world. And how do you know that that's the case?
Because of vibes, man. This is what I'm talking about. You can't rationalize.
Because of vibes. Because
like
of vibes. Because of
I just
vibes.
want to jump into and
Please
just
do.
say that I don't know if you have some type of, if you're responding to some type of phenomenalism or something like that, but the fact of the matter is what you're saying about the subjectivity of consciousness certainly doesn't prove materialism, because you have all of Greek antiquity and Aristotelian philosophy that believes in immaterial entities, and real essentialism is being immaterial properties and substances.
Yeah, but because of vibes. Did you not hear the conclusion? The concluding argument was because of vibes, man.
I mean, are
Maximus.
these people that just just look at a few philosophy pages?
Yes,
on
all of these
YouTube?
people have looked at like one or two YouTube videos, and they read a little bit of Lenin, and they think they're philosophers. Correct.
Divinity raises the humanity in Christ through theosis, and that's exactly what we experience.